Welcome to Monday Jazz and Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nick Yorta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the hang.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we
This
gave
is
you
Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight, it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson and Nick Yorta.
So we are beyond sorry that we had these things, but things happen, as they say. Famous
Yes.
last words. We were talking about, we were trying to talk about the unfortunate passing away of one of our South Florida heroes and grandfathers of jazz and heroes to many of us. Vince Maggio passed away a couple of days ago, and we really want to do him justice, and so we've decided to do a whole show commemorating him and celebrating his life and all of his the things that he gave to all of us. I know that there's so many funny stories, and already on Facebook we're seeing so many great remembrances, and of course he was such a huge figure, and so not everybody had the greatest experiences with him, but most everybody has something really wonderful to say, and experiences, and I know I've learned so much from him, as most of the musicians that I know have as well. So we ask, we're going to, I don't know, can you put your email address up? Would you mind? Because what we're trying to do is we're going to put together a celebration of life, and we're planning on doing it, what was the date?
September 13th.
September 13th, which is 2 weeks from today. So what we're looking for from all of you guys is photos or videos, or if you want to take videos of yourself and telling us a story about Vince, or if somehow musically he has influenced you and you want to do a musical tribute, you can send it to dealeyandguy@yahoo.com. If for some reason you forget that, just reach out to us on Facebook, and we'll work it out. But we want to get everything in by middle of next week at the latest, because we have to put everything together. So, and spread the word. If you know somebody that might want to, participate, then let them know, because we really want this to be a community effort, because he was so special to so many of us. And anyway, that's it. He'll be missed. But we are celebrating today beautiful music by featuring an amazing trumpet player, and I happen to be a sucker for trumpet players, so I'm really excited about today's show. And once again, we apologize for getting started so late, but it's not going to interfere with the great music and the interview. So
And he is joined by 2 stellar musicians.
yes, he is. He's joined by the wonderful Jim Gasior and his organ, and
Still sounds wrong.
I know, and Jonathan Hulett on the drums. And Jonathan's new to me, so I'm really excited. Actually, I was listening in on the rehearsal, and he sounds fantastic. So it's really exciting. Shall we go straight to the music?
Let's bring them on. They're getting themselves ready, and as soon as you guys want to hit, you can hit.
Are we we got everybody going?
We'll find out.
very much. How clear? I don't know how clear it is for you guys to hear me. Should I talk into this? Is that better? All right, good. Well, thank you everybody out there for listening and for hanging in there. We had some technical difficulties, but we're here now and really happy to be able to play with these two awesome musicians to the left and right of me. First, I played the Haitian national anthem with my embellishments. Then we went into an original song of mine called Haitian Peace Song. And let's see, what we got? We're going to play a tune of my friend's. This guy's name is Jesse Fisher. He lives in Brooklyn, New York, and he's a prolific composer, and I've been on a couple of his albums. And this one is called Dark Waters. Hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. We know that there's more claps happening somewhere, but we appreciate the claps from over there. Thank you, guys. What do we got next? All right, we're gonna play one of my more recent originals. This one is called "Shake," and it's inspired by a Haitian singer whose name is Becken, and I just love his voice and his raw energy. And I heard one of his songs, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna write something similar to that, but add my own flavor to it." So this is called "Shake." I did not want the ending to end. It felt really good. Thank you guys. We got one more for you for this set, and it's another original of mine. This one is called Uraeus, and it's all about keeping a strong vision.
Yay! So good, so good,
That
so
was
good.
amazing.
Jean Caze and Jonathan Hulett and Jim Gasior.
You know, that's all J's there. John, Jim, and Jonathan.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
John,
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 J3.
and Jim.
Okay.
J3,
All
there
right.
we go.
Now, well, we got that out of the way.
Just saying.
Nikki's going to go and set up for the interview, and I am going to just. Oh, look, we've got some things. And some comments and beautiful things. Want to just, I know that I always sound like a broken record when I'm talking about this, but please support our musicians. We like everybody to get paid for spending their time with us. And so if you could just, we have a virtual tip jar set up. So if you would text the word tip jar to the number 44321, that is the number that you're going to send it to is 44321. And the message that you're going to send is tip jar. You will immediately get a message back saying, with a secure link to where you're going to donate. And you can, any amount is great. And all of it will go directly to our musicians. So we thank you in advance. Okay, that is done. I'm going to should I bring him in? So we're setting up for an interview because we're going to talk to John and get his story because I'm interested in his story. We're ready?
Is that a good angle?
I don't know. Let's see. No, because I don't think I see his head, but I'm going to bring it in and you're going to see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's put this in. Oh, look, I can see him.
Yep.
Can you lower it just a little bit so we get less of the wall? Oh, look, he can do it. There you go.
All right.
Look at that sweet face.
Let me get the volume going here.
So this is Jean Caze.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, sounds great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You sound great.
Thank
Wow,
you.
that is really fantastic music. That's you have such an interesting and unique style, you know? You don't sound like anybody, but of course we're going to find out how you got there because everybody has influences. But that's one of the things I've always noticed about Jean. You know, he just has a whole very distinct approach to soloing, to melody, to phrasing. You're fantastic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Nikki.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from?
I came from my mom. Thank
you, Mom.
My mom is from Haiti, or Haiti, and from a little town called Jérémie in the south. I was born in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital, but left as a baby and grew up in New York, Brooklyn first, then Queens, and eventually moved to Long Island. And later on, I ended up moving down here.
How did you end up down here?
What?
How did you end up down here?
That's a good question. I had a cousin who was like, I got out of Manhattan School of Music from undergrad. I graduated, and I just felt a little bit lost. I was doing some gigs, but not really enough, and I didn't really know what to do. My cousin came into my life. He came and visited from Delray Beach, and during the time, he was doing really well flipping property. And so he was like, hey, why don't you come work with me? I'll teach you the ropes, teach you some landscaping, teach you some carpentry, etc. And then you'll save up and you can start flipping the property on your own because you'll know what to do. And I said, okay. So I moved down with him, and that was my first introduction of, living down here. Yeah.
And so what happened with that?
Yeah, well, the market changed, as we all know, and just, it just wasn't working out as we planned, put it that way. And so I ended up feeling like I need to get back into music, right? So, but I didn't want to go back to New York like that. Like, I came to Florida for a purpose. That didn't work out, but I still felt like I need to do something. So I got a job at Boomers.
Okay.
So I got a job at Boomers just to pay bills, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back to school. And I went to FIU and I got my master's. And while I was getting my master's, this time I had a plan. I said, okay, I'm going to work on this, and that. By the time I get out of school, I'll be working enough to support myself. Instead of undergrad, you're like this, and then you get out of school, you're like, oh my God, What do I do? And so that's what I did. I came up with my first CD. I put out a website. I started going and hustling my own gigs and going to more jam sessions, and more work was starting to come up for me. And so by the time I was done at FIU, I was working enough to say that I was a professional musician, support myself doing music only. And, I didn't have to work at Boomers anymore.
So, see, he had that one element, the go out there and, hustle.
Right. So, okay. So I'm going to go back because when did you start playing the trumpet?
I started playing in public school in 5th grade. I was 9 years old.
Why did you start playing the trumpet?
The trumpet, well, how in like 2 years earlier than that, like you're in 5th grade, I think everyone in public city schools plays a recorder. So I played the recorder, but I always had a love for music. And they asked me like, hey, do you want to be part of the music program? You get out of school, you get out of the regular class once a week and you go study music. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. And then they already had someone who played the drums. That's what I wanted to do. But they already had kids who played in the church that were good. They were like, okay, you can pick from the trumpet, the sax, or the trombone. I looked at the trombone. I said, it's too long and big to carry around. I said, the sax is too many buttons. It's too hard. I don't want to do that. And so I said, oh, the trumpet, 3 keys. I thought it would be easy. And, of course, it wasn't. It took me like 3 days to like figure out how to fix your mouth to get a sound on the instrument. But yeah, that's how I started playing trumpet in public school.
And did you take to it right away? Was it something that you were like, okay, this is something that feels good to me?
Well, I think the music that I had in my spirit wanted to get out, and so I figured things out. But I don't think I was necessarily more like I didn't practice more. I just felt like I had more love for music, which pushed me to like figure things out. And so I started to stand out a little bit from the rest of the trumpet players, and teachers started to take notice to me and encourage me to take a solo or just give me more responsibility or tell me to go and audition for this outside program, that kind of thing.
Did you grow up in a musical household?
Yeah. My sister sang a lot in church. My mom wanted to be a singer at one time in her life. She also wanted to be like a flight attendant, an actress. So I don't know. My mom always had ears. She would be singing the harmony parts that were not there in songs and stuff like that. And then I had my aunt who was in the music industry, in the Haitian music industry. Okay. She was a dancer and entertainer ahead of her time, and so I had a good amount of musicians around me in the family. Yeah.
Do you sing?
I don't sing, but I did want to. I always admire singers. And by the time I was like getting a vocal coach, maybe like 10 years ago, I found the right one. I auditioned like 6 or 7 of them.
Okay.
And then I moved. So I lost that vocal coach, and it wasn't a time where you could really Zoom. Like that wasn't a thing.
Right.
You're setting yourself up for a free lesson here.
Really, I try to sing through the trumpet, but I would love to learn how to get the most out of my voice and sing as well as play trumpet, because trumpet is like one of those things where it takes a lot of conditioning. You got to be like not tired. Your lips have to be hydrated. It's a lot of technical stuff. And I would love to just be able to be like, you know what? It's not a good day on a trumpet. I'm just going to sing some songs. Right. But also just to be able to express lyrics. That's a really amazing part of being a singer, is telling stories.
That's the best part about being a singer.
Yeah. And so I think, in the future, maybe I'll get back in there,
So who were your musical influences growing up?
Okay. Bobby McFerrin. Like that song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Like I couldn't wait for it to come on. I'd jump on the bed waiting for it to come on the radio. Like I didn't have the record. Like I remember that being one of the first songs I got excited about. My mom played a lot of French, melodic, pop music. So I love that stuff. And you can probably hear the melodic influence in my playing. And I'm always wanting to play with melody versus like intricate harmonic stuff. And then when I finally got introduced to jazz, it was Miles Davis, it was Louis Armstrong, it was Charlie Parker, it was big time Clifford Brown, and Count Basie Orchestra, Clark Terry, then Freddie Hubbard, then Roy Hargrove, then of course Wynton Marsalis, just for like a sheer amazing trumpet playing, and who else? There's a lot. Sweet Edison. Just guys who really seem to emote from the horn. I like Joe Henderson a lot. I like early Coltrane. So I liked a lot of different guys. But the tenor players I liked the most were the guys who kind of played more simple and like Dexter Gordon. I love those kind of guys.
Sure.
And then I could keep going, but those are the people that come to mind right now.
Of course. So let's take a look at high school you, I think.
Okay.
I mean,
This is junior high school me.
junior high school you.
Oh,
let me
my
take
goodness.
this.
Let me tell you what's happening here. So this is, to the left is my sister. She was 9 years older than me. And my mom was a single parent. She came here from Haiti and like worked 2-3 jobs to support me and my sister. So really my sister became like a second mom. And then the gentleman on my right is my first ever trumpet teacher. His name is Aaron Flagg. He was a trumpet player. And now he is the dean at Juilliard Jazz.
Oh, nice.
But back at this time, I was accepted into a program at Juilliard called MAP, Music Advancement Program. So they came into the inner city looking for kids like me. And what we would do is we would go to Juilliard every Saturday and take a whole bunch of different type of classes. And he was my first ever trumpet teacher.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's still a big influence on me to this day.
Well, so let me understand. Where had you played? You had been playing trumpet before that.
Yeah.
Sort of by ear. Is that
Well,
what
you
you
said
did?
from the 5th grade, so this would have been middle school, junior high.
Right,
so
but I'm
a
saying
couple
something.
years.
But there's the first actual teacher that you had.
Yeah, first private trumpet teacher.
Right.
I was probably in like just starting middle school,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And how long did you study with him?
I would say 3 years. And I mean, I can't say I studied with him because I didn't practice that much, but
Oh,
I was a kid, but I mean, he was just like a huge influence. I grew up in Queens, New York, and then all of a sudden, every Saturday I'm going into the city, and like studying trumpet with someone.
Right.
So it was kind of amazing and then he was always dressed well and spoke proper, but I'm like around like the hip hop culture in Queens, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
so it was like very different juxtaposition, and it was like, wow, okay, you can do other things. Like you can go and play concerts, and he would just invite me to all these different places and expose me to different cultures. So it was really cool.
That's
It is
important.
it is amazing what just opening a window does for people. Just having kids in elementary school listening to jazz or showing them, Louis Armstrong, and it's just that little thing, that little spark can do so much for the rest of their lives. Actually, it's amazing.
Yes.
It really is. We're jumping ahead a little bit here, but you can tell us about this. And by the way, I got to tell you, as I was looking at the pictures that you sent,
Yeah.
I began to think that maybe you're immortal, because the only thing that really changes is your hairstyle a little bit, but your face, man, it's like, come on.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I see aging, but
Okay.
But in this photo, I'm standing with the great Wynton Marsalis. In high school, I wore hazel contacts because I was in at the time, and I liked girls, so I wanted the girls to like me.
And hazel is what that was the secret ingredient.
I don't know. To be honest, I was just probably emulating my cousin who did it. So my older cousin.
I thought it might have been. He's too young for Miami Vice, right?
Oh.
Philip Michael Thomas had
Yeah,
those.
he's way too young.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
As you can see, that shirt is way too big for me, but that was the style in the 90s. You wore baggy clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, this is like backstage at like a Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra concert. I would just follow them anywhere. That teacher I told you about, Aaron Flagg, was close to Wynton, and so he would tell me about rehearsals that were happening, and I would just come with my trumpet and be this little shy kid in the corner. And then Wynton might come up to me during a break and play a solo, like inches from my face, like whisper tone, and I'd be like, "How are you doing that?" Or another time I was doing a lesson with Aaron Flagg, and he happened to come by and was like, "Oh, what you working on? Some Charlie Parker Etude book, Omni book?" And he took my horn, my really crappy student horn, and played the hell out of it, and gave it back to me. And I was just like, "Oh, okay." So
It's not the horn.
Oh, look! Is that was it? What was in there?
Yeah. So anyway, he was a big influence on me, and he was always very hard on me too. He was like, "You've been practicing, or you've been bullshitting?" You look at me like, and he would know I was bullshitting.
Yeah.
So, but he was always really, great educator. He always made time for kids, and he never closed his door to me. So I have a lot of respect for him.
Very nice. It seems like 1999 was a pretty momentous year for you here. This was very interesting to me.
Yeah. So for anyone who can't tell, that the group of gentlemen I'm playing with is from the legendary rock band Chicago. And VH1 had something called the Save the Music program, which I think is still in existence. And so what they did is as Chicago was touring, they would pair them with like a talented young musician and have them play a song with them. And just to kind of like highlight the importance of music in our schools. And so, yeah, I got to play with them. And, you know, I didn't really know rock music then.
Right.
So, like, it was like one of those things you don't know what you don't know. And I got to play with them. And Lee Loughnane, the trumpet player right there, leaning in, he was so kind to me and, like, gave me his number. He even, like, flew me out for, like, for a week during a holiday break and gave me trumpet lessons and just hung out with me. Like, they were, like, super duper sweet. And yeah, it's just one of those amazing moments where I got picked up in a limo to go to NBC, you know, Rockefeller Studios to play outdoors. And then the limo took me back to school, but everyone was in school.
So they didn't get to see
Everyone
it.
was in class. No one got to see me pull up in the limo. I was like, what a waste, you know?
That's very
Can't
funny.
you just wait till school lets out so I can...
I was like, why am I even going back to school? I just played on TV. Like, that was my mindset.
God,
It was
that's
crazy.
True. Well, it's true.
Very funny. And
That's amazing.
still in 1999.
All right, so that's Herbie Hancock.
Oof.
And he played with our high school jazz band at Bryant Park in New York. And yeah, it's one of those guys who I knew was a legend, but I didn't really know his music yet. But I knew it was like, oh, I got to take a photo with him. This is
Right.
like, oh my
I was
God.
going to ask you,
Yeah.
have you ever, and, you know, especially being young and being around these, you know, greats and legends, were you starstruck, or you just were sort of more into your hazel eyes and you know, maybe practicing or not? Or
I mean, I was praised a little bit too much, you know,
Okay.
like as a kid, like who can play trumpet. So
Yeah.
I don't think it made me work harder, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I definitely like was told like he's like one of the legends, and I was like, wow, you know. And so when I was playing, I wasn't nervous, but I was like trying to impress him. And of course, you know, anytime you try to impress anyone musically, it never works. So
Right.
I learned that early. But yeah, it was. No, I definitely knew that it was amazing. And someone ruined a picture with their thumb,
I see that.
but you know, it's him. It's actually him.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see him.
now, so you kind of believe in maybe the hard, you know, not school of teaching, like being more honest. And this is a conversation that has come up, and
Yeah.
we've mentioned on some of the shows too, that it almost seems like the culture has, and it also has, you know, impinged upon the music curriculum, where like it's everybody passes, everybody's good, and then you kind of work your way down. You never get the kick in the pants, which very often
Sometimes
is
you
what
need.
you need.
Yeah,
what do you feel about that?
We've gotten soft for sure, and I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty hard with my students, and it doesn't work well for me. But what happens is later on they go to college, and then they'll contact me and say you were right.
Right.
So I just do things from my heart. I'm lucky that I'm not saying this in any negative way to anyone else who's affiliated with a university, but the fact that I'm independent, I feel like I'm more liberated to like
Sure.
just tell kids how it is. And because I think that's what I should have, like, there's a lot of things that I wasn't told when I was a kid that I
Right.
wish they would have told me. And I wish I just said, yo, this is the best time of your life to practice. Like later on, it's
Right.
going to get harder. Do it now. You know?
Yeah.
So that's how I am with my students.
But it's so funny, you know, you think that, but then if you were that age and somebody said that to you, it still wouldn't,
No.
you know what I mean? You still just say, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe though. I mean, but there are
It's
some
true.
people that's like they're horrified, and it's like they rethink their status.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess it's a little double-edged sword. But it depends on who you are. And I think the ones that really fly and grow with that are the
Yeah.
ones that probably do need it. You know, sometimes.
Could be.
No, I agree.
All right,
And
what do we
these are your
got here?
buddies.
All right, so here I'm in California. I'm in high school. It's probably 1999 or it's probably 2000. But this is the trumpet section from the Grammy All-American High School Jazz Band. Josh, Phil, Ambrose Akinmusiri, and Dominic Farinacci. So yeah, a couple of these guys have gone on to do really big things in jazz and in music in general. And it was my first time being like put on a plane to go fly and play music somewhere. So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was also a big deal to be like, oh wow, these are what my peers, these are what kids all across the country sound like. And I was like, it was another wake up call. Like, oh, I thought it was good, but no, these guys are really
Yeah.
good. Like, So it was like another kick in the butt, and so
Yeah.
it was really great, and it led me to be able to get a scholarship opportunity at Manhattan School of Music.
That's one of the things that, Jim Gasior always says about the culture in high school when, because he teaches at an arts magnet, and when the kids, when there's a competition is a good thing. And so when you're seeing your peers, succeed, you want to succeed or you want to do better than them. And it's kind of like this constant, you need to see, it's like even when you become professional, you try to work with people that are better than you, that are going to pull you up, and make you want to do better.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
While we were playing, I remember I did a concert with Jim Gasior, and I was playing with the late great Melton Mustafa, and I just remember him kicking my butt, and I was like, "Wow, one day," But yeah, and I'm with you 100%. It's always great to play with somebody who's going to inspire you and someone who's really serious and dedicated to the music.
Just want to say that yesterday was Jim Gasior's birthday, so a big happy birthday
happy birthday
to Jimmy G.
Jim.
Right there.
Yes, sir.
Can we see? Yeah,
There he is.
Can you? Oh, there he is.
It's either that or a life-size cutout. of
There you
Jim
go.
Gasior.
Could be. Could be.
Did you get the travel bug once you did that first trip?
Not then and there, but it just made me be like it opened up opportunities. Like I remember we were able to actually go to the Grammys, and it was the year that J-Lo wore that green dress that was like really low cut.
There you go.
So it was like controversial. I was like, wow, we were there. We were like nosebleed.
Yeah,
So it was like,
but you were there.
Yeah, we could tell it was green, but we couldn't tell how provocative it was. It was probably for the best.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now you have recorded a couple of albums. This was your first one?
Yeah, that's called Miami Jazz Scene. It was like named that because it was like a joke. I felt like the jazz scene in Miami was not nearly up to par from what I was used to in New York. And I just felt like people here didn't respect music as much and it wasn't part of the culture like that. And so I put out an album and called it that as a joke.
Got it.
And is this something that is still out there that people can get if they're
Yeah, people can
interested
still find this album. I still have a few hard copies as well. They can go on my website, jeancaze.com, and find links to purchase and to listen to it. So also you can stream it.
I should put that up, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's funny, you saying that about the Miami scene. I feel like when you're in the scene, we realize how many amazing musicians we have, incredible musicians that we have in Miami and in South Florida. I think, though, the perception of Miami is like this big party town, and it's the discos and it's this on Miami Beach and bikinis and parties but
Hazel eye, contact lenses.
That's right. The fake butts, I can't forget that.
Oh my
Fake
gosh!
butts,
And
yeah.
it is that, but it also, within it is this, thriving community. I do wish there was. Well, I mean, in COVID it can't happen, but I do wish there were more places, to play. Listening rooms, I guess,
Listening rooms, right?
would
Yeah.
be a really fun, cool thing to have.
You know what I realized is there was a time I was making a really good push. Like it was in between tours, and I was starting to book bands a lot. And I really took the time to like get people's email addresses, and I used to like really let them know where my gigs were. And I found that like the more people I got to come to the gigs that I invited, like they turned the room for me,
Right.
and they turned it into a listening room. Like if I had like,
Well, that's true,
even
yeah.
if I had like 51%, that 51% would turn the
Right.
49.
True.
And so I think we all have that capability of doing that. I feel like too many of us in the jazz community put a post about what we're doing like a few days earlier,
Right.
and think
You're
that's
right.
enough. Like
That's true.
maybe a month earlier, and then
Right.
3 weeks, and then
And
2 weeks, and then 1 week, and an email blast, all that stuff.
A classic example is Nicole Henry, who works her behind off, getting the word out, and she does have a great following, and she sells out rooms, and it's all her fans, and she can, and it's,
But the
it's
truth,
true.
I mean, it's work.
It's
another type of work, but it's work.
Yeah.
But it's your brand, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a hard thing.
Hey, so talk to us about. I didn't realize that you were touring with him so long, but you said you've been with Michael Bublé for a long time, and we do have a picture, but this is from 2013. I thought that's when you started. I love how they do that. It's almost like a football.
Yeah, exactly.
Football thing.
That's
Jean
ex-
Caze!
Yeah.
We can do that as
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. He's really into sports, and he looks
Okay.
at us as a team, and so he had us. So I don't have video for you guys now, but you see where I'm standing there with the trumpet, not playing, but just standing. Like basically that turns around just like a football player.
Okay, that's funny.
And it tells you, where you're from and
How
what
long
school
your
you went
solos
to. Exactly, your stats.
That's very cool.
But yeah, it was cool because people come to see him. They don't come to see us necessarily. They appreciate that.
And he doesn't have to do that, right?
He doesn't have to do that, and he gives us a moment, and the audience gets to.
He makes you feel like part of the team.
Exactly.
That's a smart coach.
But it's also educating the audience that look, yes, I'm the guy in front, but I can't do it without these guys. So
I love people like that. How did that contact happen, and how did you get the gig?
I got the gig from my association with musicians at Manhattan School of Music. So there was a saxophone player by the name of Jacob Rodriguez who I went to Manhattan School of Music with, and he got in the band earlier. He was a Barry player. And the trumpet player that I replaced ended up getting called to do John Mayer gig. And so he left mid-tour, and so they were scrambling to find someone, and Jacob was nice enough to recommend me. I came in for a month, and at the end of the month, they thought I did a good enough job to ask me if I wanted to stay on, and I said, yeah. And it was funny. It was another one of those things where I didn't really know how big he was.
Right.
And so they called me for the gig. I'm like, yeah, cool. And then the more and more I learn about it, I'm like, wait, how many people? Wait, we're playing in an arena? What?
Right. And you said this was 2010?
Yeah, 2010 I started with him. Yeah, and I'm still with him. So actually we're going to go out on Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah, this is a 2019 pick, so you're still practicing backstage. I'm sure he loves that.
Yeah, that was maybe 4 months or so before COVID. If you notice, that's tour weight. I am a little thicker there. It's a lot more desserts after, the catering.
Yeah, but you're supposed to have COVID weight too. So somehow you managed to not do that.
The COVID-19 is
right.
I'm trying to take care of my health.
Yeah.
Good.
Got it. And let's show them because you did a second album as well.
Yes. This is Amédée. Amédée is actually my first name. And is the most Haitian of my names, and so I thought I'd name the album Amédée because this is the first time where I blended my Haitian background with my jazz training, I would say. And so some of the music, basically almost all the music you hear tonight has more of that Haitian flavor from me digging into my roots and using that in my compositions.
And you were telling me that you were recording something. Tell about that, because that was really interesting to me. The song that you're working on now.
Oh, okay. So I'm working on a song. There's a great lady, a great teacher, political activist. Her name is Baina Bello, and I found her online, and she was talking about Haitian history from the standpoint of Haitians and what happened. Instead of the European version of the story. And I thought it was really interesting. And so she started having these, Baina and Friends webinars weekly. And so, she was talking about different topics, and I thought I was learning a lot. And then she asked us, hey, can you guys fill out this questionnaire? We'd like to know what your talents and gifts are. So when she found out I was a musician, she said, hey, we've been wanting to write a song for the Empress Félicité, who was... Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the first ever emperor of Haiti, the liberator of Haiti, his wife. And so I said, yeah, of course. So she gave me the background of her, and then it was really interesting to be able to compose for someone who I don't know, but someone who has really cultural, historical reverence in Haiti, and try to figure out a way to live up to that. That honor, that challenge of writing for her. So yeah, we're finishing up that song now. It's going to be mixed in a few days, and I'm looking forward to putting that out in the next coming months.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do you find that have you been just embracing your roots a lot more within the last couple of years, or?
I would say it started about 2006-ish. A guy by the name of Reginald Policard. He's a Haitian pianist, jazz pianist, also played compa music as well. And he invited me to come to Haiti and to play in a jazz festival. And as I'm playing, and he's like, yeah, take your solo now. But the grooves are Haitian, and I'm like, wait, there's no, it was open. It was like, oh, wait, there's no Miles Davis recording of this, or there's no reference.
Right.
So I had to figure out, what rhythms am I going to solo with? And, and so it was a great time of discovery for me. And ever since then, I was bitten by that bug of how do I incorporate those rhythms into my music? And I'm still figuring it out. It's a lot. There's hundreds, at least a few hundred rhythms in Haiti that you can take from and learn from.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And what do you see for yourself? What kind of things would you like to, achieve musically? I know this is a very broad question, but what kind of things haven't you done yet that you would like to explore?
Yeah, when I was young, it was like I just wanted to be able to support myself being a musician,
Right.
and I just wanted to be able to help my mom financially. So I've accomplished those two goals. Now it's like, okay, how am I going to live the rest of my life, like even like with more than that? So now I'm actually answering those questions for myself daily. And right now, COVID definitely helped me be able to like figure out that, hey, being a freelance artist is great and all, but I can do more. And so what I'm trying to do now is record and release more content, document more of my compositions, and just be more specific about who I want to play with, what kind of music I want to play, and just not judging myself by other people's standards, just like figuring out who I want to be musically and practicing enough to be able to express myself at whatever level I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And as we know, that's a lifelong.
Yes.
That's the greatest thing
adventure.
about one of the greatest things about music is that it is a never-ending learning experience. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
I think that's
like
part of the answer to your other question of if you think I'm staying young. I think part of me doing something that I'm interested in and love is helping me stay young.
Yeah, it helps. It's not just the grind or.
Yeah, no, it is a grind being a professional musician. Like,
Well, yeah.
like it's not easy. People just see the fun part, but
Right.
they don't see the practicing. They don't see
right.
the counting, all the different hats you got to wear behind the scene.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Can we hear more music from you and your great band?
Of course.
Oh, well, first of all, I had not met Jonathan before
Okay.
tonight. I have, of course, I know Jim well. So tell me a little bit about him. He sounds amazing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wish I knew more about him, but I know that while he was studying at the University of Miami, that's when we met, and we started doing gigs together. I always thought he had a really fresh approach, fresh energy. He's like really interesting cat. Been wanting to get to know him more and more, and he moved away back to Houston. I don't know why, but Houston breeds amazing musicians, especially drummers. It must be the church environment. But Jonathan is I'm really glad to be able to make some music with him at this point, and he just moved back recently. So if anyone watching this looking for a drummer,
There you go.
he's your man.
Jonathan Hulett.
I hope to play with him sometime.
Yeah.
So good.
Come on, guys, let's play some more music
right.
for the people.
And I'm going to go set the camera up again, and we'll hear some more of Jean Caze.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And we are going to one more time, a broken record, I know, but we're just going to say it. Please support our musicians. Text the word tip jar to the number 44321 and show some love to Jean and Jonathan and Jim, and let's treat them the way we want them to be treated. I want to thank everybody for being patient with us. We had a little bit of a rough start, but the music is fantastic and everything. Sometimes rough starts mean beautiful endings. Let's hope that that's what's happening so far. Okay, so we can see. We're going to add this so we can see what everybody looks like. You can need a little bit to show Jim. And once again, text the word tip jar to the number 44321. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to put them in solo. That looks good. It's a little bit darker than it was before, but no, it's fine. It's good. All right. Let me know when you're ready, Nikki. We're ready?
We are ready.
Thank you very much, Jim Gasior, Jonathan Hulett. I think that's it. What do you guys think? Did the people get what they paid for?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jean Caze.
Jean Caze and Jim Gasior and Jonathan Hulett.
Yes, thank you guys so much. That was spectacular, and like you said, rough start, but
Beautiful
look
ending.
at that. Yes.
Beautiful ending. Thank you so much, John. It was such a pleasure. I want to take just a special second again I can do this, right? If I do that. Oh, wait, I want to do that. Okay. I just want to say that our next show we're planning for February. February. September 13th, and it's going to be a celebration of the great Vince Maggio. So if you put your email back up, if you have some pictures or you have of videos, or you have a great story that you can videotape yourself, or if you want to do a musical tribute, maybe it's a song that you learned when you were studying with him, or that reminds you of him, or whatever, send whatever you have to delianguy@yahoo.com, DELIANGUY @yahoo.com. We're going to try to compile everything together into like one beautiful, celebration of his life. So if you know somebody that would like to be part of this, if you could just forward them, this flyer or Nikki's email address, or just, in the comments, you can write their name. It could just be something like that. And we're just, it's kind of, we're on a tight schedule because we want to do this. So we want to have everything, any kind of videos or pictures or anything in by the middle of next week. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we can put it to we being he, will put it all together into a beautiful kind of tribute. So that will be on September 13th. If we get everything in and all the stars align, and
there are no gremlins,
yes. So that's that. We want to thank our partners as always, the wonderful Sunshine Jazz Organization, the SJO. Let's take a little bit of a second and take a look at what they've got going on.
Sunshine Jazz Organization is proud to be presenting world-renowned steel pan maestro Othello Molino at weekly Sunday jazz brunch from noon to 3 p.m. at KC Healthy Cooking, located on a spacious outdoor patio at 1900 Biscayne Boulevard, serving an excellent gourmet Caribbean menu and great jazz, led by Lloyd Hawkins and Ted McDermott. As Alice Day would say, hope to see your face in the place.
Yes, so we've got that coming up, and we want to thank Gold Coast Jazz Society for being a great partner with us for all of these many months during COVID. They are definitely go check out their website, goldcoastjazz.org, because they're planning a live season coming up in October, I believe. So go to their website and see what's coming up, because they always have amazing artists come for their seasons, and they do a lot of really great shows. And of course, the Miami Jazz Cooperative, and our website is miamijazz.org, and you can go there and check out and see what's going on. But this is pretty much what's going on for us right now, because the things that we were doing with our Monday night shows and Thursday afternoons at Jazz at Jackson have all been kind of put on hold until we kind of leave this crisis that we've got going on. But we're trying to make it still happen. So we want to thank everybody. Is there anything else that I need to say?
Just, go to the Miami Jazz Co-op website on Facebook to be updated, just because it's going to be a few weeks before you see us again. 2 weeks to be exact, right?
Yeah.
So don't look for us next Monday, and then on that show we'll be talking about going forward.
Yeah. Perfect. So once again, our next show will be a beautiful tribute to the wonderful Vince Maggio. And like I said, send videos, send pics, tell your friends and people that knew him and loved him, so we can make it really special.
Yeah. And finally, once again, the huge thanks to Jean Caze for coming here and spending time with us and being very patient and not even, I don't think he even rolled his eyes once.
It was behind your back.
Or at least I didn't see it. No, so, and thank you for that wonderful music and the chance to get to talk with you and know you a bit better. And we will see all of you out there in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much.
Good night.